Hi guys, it's Becky, and I am going to be making some art today. I heard y'all who've been telling me how much you enjoy my painting plus jewelry videos, so I'm going to do another one today. And for this one, I am going to be using the Sam's bead box. This is the Mookaite Memories, Mookaite Madness if you're me, box, and I'm going to be using this color palette, but I'm also going to be using the same colors in a color palette with watercolors. And I'm going to just do a real easy painting. It's just going to be basically painting some fall leaves. That's all it's going to be doing. But I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to also try out these brushes that I got off Amazon like 6 months ago. But they were real inexpensive, but they looked like really good brushes and they had great reviews. So I was like, you know what, let's give these guys a try. I haven't even opened them up. I just washed the sizing off of them. But it comes in like a 10 brush set, and I just want to show you real quick this point. Like, this is wet. I just washed the sizing off, but it holds a point really well on the round brushes. But this set also came with, I'm just going to set these down so they can dry off flat. I'm going to pull out the round 3 to use with this, but it also has some specialty brushes as well, like 3/4 inch wash, 3/4 inch, it says oval wash, but it's more like it's cat tongue shaped. And I'm going to use this because it's going to give me like a single stroke leaf shape when I do that, and that's going to make it real easy for that. But then you've got a dagger striper, and you've got just a flat 6. These are also some brushes that came with that, and they are still damp, so let's let them dry flat before I put them away. But yeah, so these are the 2 brushes that I'm going to be trying from that set, and we'll see how I like it. And if I do like it and I feel like I want to recommend it, I'll put a link to where I got them from in the description. But I'm also going to be trying out a new jewelry making tool while I'm doing this, and that is this Coil Buddy that I just got from Luisa at Misty Moon. She makes these and she sells them to help with memory wire bracelets. So let's pull this out and take a look at it, because it's brilliant, honestly. And I'll put a link to her Etsy shop. She's got a little how-to guide with this, but it's basically this guide with these channels with a center line marked and then the sizes marked, and you can see here what that relates to. And then what you do with this, from what I could see, and she's got a video on how to use this as well, so I can put that link in there. But yeah, I just got this and I am really excited to try it out, because this is something that I do struggle with the making memory wire bracelets, is knowing like how long to make it. So it comes with these rods that you can string your beads on, and they're little stoppers that you can put on the ends, and then you just lay it into these channels, and you can see the sizes and see that it'll fit in that like one repeat of your memory wire bracelet. So we'll be playing around with this when I get to the jewelry making part of this, but I'm definitely going to be using this Coil Buddy that I got to make memory wire bracelet. Like, I think I'm going to do 3 rounds with beads from the Sam's bead box. So we're going to do that, and that means if I'm doing memory wire that I am going to be pulling out my handy dandy memory wire cutters, and I'm also going to use my 6-step bail making pliers to make some loops on the ends of those. So those are my jewelry making tools. I'm going to be using the Coil Buddy, my memory wire cutters, and she very kindly included some coils of memory wire to use with this. So I'm going to be using this that came with my order when we're doing this. So let's pull this out real quick. I'm just unboxing this now, so you can do that. All right, so I'm going to be using these for that. So let's set this aside real quick and we'll talk about paint. All right, so paint, I pulled out a I have a couple of Roman Szmal sets, and these are my swatch sheets. So I just wanted to show you on the swatch sheets, because this is the same paper that I'm going to be using, what colors go with what. And this is kind of how I pick my colors when I'm doing this, and I thought it might be interesting for you to see that. For this, whoop, and I'm losing my Mookaite. Just Mookaite everywhere. Okay, so for this mustardy, like earthy yellow, I'm going to grab this natural sienna light color. You can see how that goes with it there. It's rolling off. But yeah, so that's the color that I'm using to go with that one. I'm also going to be grabbing this Quin Gold because it gives you more of a warmer yellow, just in case I want to pull some of this color out there from this. Also, you know, this color is perfect with this. Bloop. Where are you going, buddy? It's fine. It doesn't need to stay on there. I'm going to put it back in here. But then also with the Mookaite is we've got this like kind of purpley color, like a mauve-y purple color. I don't know how well this is showing up on the camera. So I'm going to be grabbing this mineral violet here, but I'm going to be toning it down a lot using some color theory. And you'll see me do that because I'm going to do some color mixing to make that happen, because I don't have any other purple that would work for that in this palette. And then there's a couple of different reds that are in here, but if I start with a nice warm red, then I can do some mixing to bring in some other colors with that. So I'm going to use this cadmium vermillion, and that's I've got that out here. I've got the cadmium vermilion here, my Quin Gold here, my mineral violet here, my natural sienna, and this one, this is my favorite one, and one of the reasons I chose this one above all is this like deep maroon color that we get in that. I'm going to be using Caput Mortem. It is a PR 101. It's the same pigment as this, but it's just processed totally differently. So you get this dark, deep, like almost brown red that is this deep, like mahogany color. And that's this Caput Mortem. And so I'm going to be using that with all of these other colors. So those are the paints that I chose. So I'm going to move the beads. I'm going to set them aside while we set up for the painting. I'm going to put away my my swatch sheets now that I've shown you how those go. And this is going to be, while my leaves are drying, I'm going to be using this to make the thing. So let's get set up for our painting. Like I said, it's going to be really easy leaves. I'm just going to be using this Layton 100% cotton watercolor block. It's the same paper that I did my swatching on, so I know what the colors will dry down to when I am done using it. So I've just got this block out here, and I'm going to be painting on that. I'm going to move this bead board out of the way. Guys, nice of you to join us. And let's just set that there. And I'm gonna just grab a little pencil because I'm gonna do a real faint line across here to kind of make sure that where I am doing my my thing, so it doesn't end up wonky or sideways. So I'm just gonna do a faint line that tells me where my leaves start, and another faint line that tells me where they stop. And that was just way too faint. I can't even see it. All right. And I can use an eraser on this after it's been done. All right. Now, paint, brushes. Pull out those two that I was gonna use. Get my water dishes. I've got my rinse water with a little paint puck in it. And then I've got my clean water in my Tostitos jar. And I'm ready to do some painting. Okay, all of you guys go over there. All right, let's do this color mixing real quick that I was talking about with this violet, because I am definitely wanting to tone this down. So I'm just going to pull out, and this Roman Szmal color, by the way, it re-wets super easy because he uses honey in it. So see how that's like a real bright violet? It's a gorgeous color, and it's one of my favorite colors out there. But it's too violet. It's not that muted, purpley mauve color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this natural sienna light color, and I'm going to mix a little bit of that into my purple to tone it down, because it's sort of opposite on the color wheel. Probably the Quin Gold might tone it down even better, but I want to earthen it up, and using this earth color to do it should give me a nice mauvey purple. Look at that. Isn't that marvelous? So, I'm just going to grab a little more purple because that's a little too mauve, just to purple it up a little bit more. And that's perfect. That's what I want to see. Give me just a sec. I dripped some paint on here in the corner. I'm just going to lift that. Or if I can. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. The mineral violet shouldn't be staining because it's super mineral-y. All right, well, that's where I'll put my my signature. Anyway, so now that I've got this mixed, I'm going to load some up on my cat's eye brush. Tapping off a little bit of my excess. I'm just going to start over here on the end with a little point. Press down and go up. I'm going to go up over here. This is a really light value. So I'm just adding a little bit more. I might just need more pigment in this mix. There we go. All right, I'm going to let that sit for a minute and think about itself. And then I'm going to take this natural sienna, and this is, it looks like a real that brush holds a lot of water, which can be a real good thing. Now when I do this, I'm going to make it so that my leaves overlap somewhat. So they run together. I'm just going to grab some of this Quin Gold over here in the corner. Kind of drop it in places. I'm going to go back with the smaller brush and do a little more detail work while it's still wet. I know, detail while it's still wet. Becky, that's weird. right, let's grab our caput mortem, and I'm just gonna tap my brush into this paper towel a little bit before I pick up this paint, because like there's just so much water in it. Look at that great color. All right, here we go. Caput mortem. Look how beautiful that color is. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna grab this vermilion. And I'm actually gonna grab the vermilion while I've got it here and make myself a little bit of a toned down color by mixing it into this caput mortem a little bit. All right. Look at these fall colors. I'm just going to keep going. Next, we're doing Quin Gold. They don't have to be in any particular order. I am just having some fun with playing with color and playing with paint. See how they're kind of bleeding into each other and blending into each other? Love that a little bit. All right, Quin Gold. This is such a great color. I think I might have tapped out too much color on this. And I'm going back for that caput mortem a little bit more. Oh, baby. Yes, deep, dark value. It's kind of a wider leaf. I did not have enough moisture in my brush. And they're new brushes, so I've got to get used to how much water is too much and how much is not enough in each of these. All right. Natural sienna. Let's grab some of this guy. And let's do more purple. Let's do more purple. Let's get a higher value of this purple. We still need to tone it down with our natural sienna. And you know what? They're kind of getting bigger as they progress across the stage. I'm grabbing this vermilion again. We're going to put it right there on the end. It's a much lighter value. All right, I've got a couple of petals here. I didn't intend, again. New brush, was not used to how much moisture was in there. Soak those up a little bit. And I'm going to take this round 3 and I'm just going to pop this right here in the caput mortem. I'm going to start here. I'm just going to do a little line. Just real faint lines. Just to add some veins to some of these leaves. And let's grab some of this vermilion. I'm going to do the same on this one. It's okay if you got shaky hands like I do, because leaf veins, I don't know if you've seen a leaf, but they're not straight lines. They curve, and they go, and they branch out, and they go all sorts of fun places. Ooh, let's use this violet. For this one. I'm just playing with color. That's all I am doing. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I'm going to use the purple on this one right here too. Okay, I like this brush for finer lines, details. This is great. I am not running out of paint before I need it. I can get several of these lines down without having to reload my brush. Love that. What color should we use for this? I wonder if this vermilion will show up well in that one. Let's find out. Actually, let's use this toned down version of vermilion. Actually, I don't think it actually matters, does it? Ooh, yeah, I love that one. I love these together. And maybe this isn't something that you see in nature. That's fine. As long as it gives the impression of that to me, I think it's gonna work just great for me. And this one, I'm going to add that vermilion in there. And I accidentally did a line where I didn't want it. That's okay, because we are just doing a quick, easy, relaxing painting. Like, that's the thing. I don't like putting a bunch of pressure on myself to make things perfect. And that is one of the beauties of like watercolor, is because it's really hard to be perfect with it. People who are, like, they work for a long time to develop that skill. But I like using it as an experience and as a exercise in letting go of not expecting things to be perfect. So I've got this sorry, vermilion color over here, and I'm dripping water on it. I think I want to use the Quin Gold for veining on that. Let's use that. Am I doing too much? Too many veins? Maybe. Probably. Does it matter? Not that much. I'm going to use the Quin Gold 2 here in this one. I hope it shows up. If it doesn't, then maybe I will grab something else. Well, so far it shows up. Let's see. Look how beautiful. And I'm going to do the same color, this Quin Gold, over here in this first violet, this first purple one. And it's probably going to expand out and blur out a lot because this one was still pretty wet. But ooh, it is also really prettying up that purple. Oof. All right, we got veins, we got leaves. I am going to set these guys aside for now. Get my paper towel out of the way. Get my brush rinsed off. Set it down to dry. Get these guys out of the way. And pull out my jewelry making things. All right. Now we had the Coil Buddy, and I'm trying to decide if I want my jewelry mat to be here. Yeah, I think I will. Just so that I don't have like beads going everywhere if they roll off of here. Because I am going to definitely be using this to lay out my bead design. Right. Now I'm going to use this guy for sure, sort of as my centerpiece on here. Then I'm going to want the larger Mookites. Get these melon beads out here. I think I'm going to need some metal spacers at some point too. So probably those. We're going to get all of these guys. Because I'm going to be using a lot of beads because I am doing memory wire bead. Multiple rows. All right. So I want 3 of these rods. I'm going to set this over here while I get these onto the rods, and then I can pull them back into it when I am getting ready to put it together, and I can measure it with that. Where are my stoppers? There they are. All right. Hold on. And these are just, it looks like pieces of silicone that have been cut to fit onto these rods. And the first thing I'm going to do is work on my middle coil. And for that, for my middle coil, let's see. Okay, I'm going to be using the 60mm setting because that is equivalent to 7.42 inches, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist. So if I do that and I put this bead in the middle, ish, sort of in the center of it all. I'm going to slide this down here to hold it into place in the middle, and I'm going to start building up along this side. All right. But I'm also going to have another one. It's going to be up above there. Another one that's going to be down below it. With some of these larger beads on either side of it. So that when they stack, this larger bead will be kind of surrounded by all of those. So I'm going to be keeping that in mind for those. But for this one, let's go ahead and open this up. Actually, maybe what we'll do is one of these will be these guys. The other one will be these guys. Maybe that's the way we'll do it. Okay, but we're also going to be using these, so let's get a repeat going here with little melon bead. These square spacers. I'm going to want to use these too. Okay, tiny melons, and then a Mookaite round, teeny tiny melon, spacer, teeny tiny melon, and one of these purple rounds. Yes, I think I like this. The fun part is I can build this out to the right size for one wrap of the memory wire. And then I can start working on the next round, and I can just build out one size, and then I can pause my recording, add the other side so that you guys don't have to sit there and watch me do both sides, unless you want to. I like it so far already. Oh, let's grab one of these cream colored ones. That's pretty. You know what? I am already, just with the rods themselves, without even putting it on the guide, which once I do, that is it. That's it perfectly right there. Okay, so now that I've got that one planned out, I'm gonna stick this on this end and move this aside. So that's one half of that round. It's already planned out. It's the right size. So I'm going to set this aside up here. I'm going to start working on the next round. And I think that one is going to go above this one. And I think we're going to use some seed beads and spacers between these Art Deco ones. Now, I don't want one of these to be like when it's on the wrist right next to it like that. I want it to be kind of like offset on the side so that it fits better between them. So let me figure out the spacing between these using these seed beads and some of these square spacers. Stick this on there. And this. And I'm just going to pick up like 1, 2, 3 of the seed beads, one spacer, 1, 2, 3 of these seed beads, and another one of these, and I'm going to see if that is enough room. Ooh, it is perfect. That is going to fit perfectly together. Guys, this is a game changer for making memory wire bracelets. Thank you so much to my friend who told me about this. It was my friend Melanie, by the way, who told me about this. This is so fantastic. All right, so now I'm just going to do 3 seed beads, a spacer, 3 seed beads between each of these Art Deco beads, and we're going to make sure that it will all fit. And I'm just grabbing these seed beads from random from the pile. I'm not picking a specific color order because then it's a little more like, you know, like a wild corn, you know, the different corn kernels and how they're like, that's what some of these colors remind me of, is that. There we go. Bloop. Gorgeous. Actually, maybe 1, 2, 3. One of these. 1, 2, 3. And one of these. I think this means that I've got enough room for one more of these. 1, 2, 3. One of these. And 1, 2, 3. And one of these. Actually, there's a lot of yellow over there. Actually, I might not have enough of these to stretch for the whole way. I'm gonna add the rest of these and see how long this is gonna be, because I might just need to add a little more on each side. So 1, 2, 3. One of these. 2, 3. And one of these. Okay, perfect. I was worried that, like, all right, so this is like the full strand, but not quite. I'm going to measure it on here. And it's not quite long enough for a full wrap. So I'm going to do another repeat of the 3 seed beads, a spacer, and 3 seed beads on each side of these Art Deco beads. So I'm going to start with this one. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And stick this on here. Take this off of that end. 2, 3. Seed bead. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how this fits on our size guide. Yeah, that is gonna probably be close enough for me because this one's gonna go extend a little bit past that 60mm. So that's gonna just make up for that. But yeah, so that's one side all done on that. I'm gonna set the whole thing aside for a minute while I work on my next coil. And I feel like I want to do something similar with that one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. But between each of these, instead, I'm going to have these purple beads and the spacers. Actually, maybe these smaller guys in between. On either side of that. Loading it on that side when I should be comparing it on that side. I think this is going to work really well. All right, I have gone ahead and finished out all sides of this. They are still on their rods. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to plan out. I am so glad I got this. This is one of my like zero regret purchases. Zero regrets so far. Just to let you guys know, another thing that is a zero regret purchase is this memory wire cutter. I love it. I use it for memory wire all the time, and I do not have to keep buying new flush cutters like I was having to do because I kept using my flush cutters on memory wire and ruining them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave this on the spool, and I'm just going to start stringing these beads in that exact order onto here. And when I've got them all on there, that's when I'm going to cut it from the spool and start curling my edges so that they will hang on there a little bit better. Some folks have mentioned before putting a little bit of glue or gluing a bead onto the edge of memory wire. I'm not going to do that today. I think I've learned a new thing today. I think I can only handle learning so many new things every day. So I'm gonna stick with this. And I'll just do my little turning them up on the edges so it doesn't, you know, dig into your skin using this. And we'll do it that way. I keep trying to think if there's a really good way to get the beads off of here and onto there, but I don't think it's gonna work like that. So I'm just gonna have to maybe push it to the edge, get it on there like that. Little bit at a time. All right. Like that. Okay. So this will work. It's going to be real fiddly though, so I don't know that you guys want to watch me do this whole time. But those leaves are drying really nicely. So when I get this on here, because this is going to be real tedious for y'all, watching me transfer them from these rods onto the memory wire. I'm going to do this and I will come back to you once I've got it on the memory wire, and then we'll proceed with cutting, curling, and finishing it. And I will pull my painting out to show you the dried finished piece, and then we'll have had a really great art day trying out some new tools. All right, so I've got this all coiled up. Now, a lot of you guys are super observant, and you probably noticed that I was missing some of the purple beads that were between these melon beads on my rod. And I caught it for the most part as I was transferring them, so I went ahead and added them during that. But I didn't catch it for right here. So there are two missing purple beads here on this. So what I'm going to do is when I cut it, I'm going to cut it longer than I normally would so that I can pull these off the other end and add those purple beads in. I also thought I'd take a minute to remind y'all, because I didn't think of it, to make sure the beads that you're choosing to use will fit on your memory wire, because I forgot all about the fact that these coin beads have a nice straight hole and the memory wire is not straight. So coin bead is not going to fit on this. So I had to replace this gorgeous Flower of Life coin bead with this melon bead. That's all I did. Everything else in the design stayed the same, except that I also did not check if the seed beads would fit on here, and the seed beads do not fit on this memory wire. They just won't go on there. So the 11 seed beads got replaced with some of these faceted purple beads and the those hematite squares that I was using for spacers. So I used some of these little guys in order to do this. So I've got this mostly all on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and curl this end with my 6-step vermillion pliers. I'm using these because I think they're a little more heavy duty. They're not going to bend as much as my round nose pliers would for this. And I'm just using my smallest one. Just trying to bend this in a little bit more. There we go. That should work. Now I want to get this smooshed up all the way to the end. And it looks like it's 4 coils here, but when it's actually on my wrist, it will be 3 coils. And that's the whole reason why there are those different marks on the Coil Buddy, so that you can plan for it for any of these 3 sizes of wrist. If you've got smaller wrists, you could probably make marks closer together on this so that you can make sure that it'll fit the smaller wrist as well. I have zero regrets about buying that, by the way. I'm really happy with that whole designing process. Looks like I've got most of this all snugged up. No, not snugged up. There's so many beads. You know what? Since I have to is there room? Is there space? There we go. There's a little bit of space. Room, is there space? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to be adding 2 more beads, plus I have to have room for a coil. So I'm going to cut here. That should give me plenty of space to do that. Using, again, my memory wire cutters. Super, super great purchase. All right, so here's the part where I'm going to make up for my mistake. I'm going to pull these guys off the end. Add a purple bead. This bead, the melon bead. Put this guy back. Oh, I need my other hematite bead. All right, and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and cut this there. Okay. I stuck this into my mat so that it wouldn't go flying. Okay, turn back. There you go. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to see if it fits my wrist. If those coils ended up where it's perfect. It's perfect. Here we go. So that is a 3-coil memory wire bracelet with Mookaite Memories. All of these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Let me go grab my leaves that I painted. So we can take a look at that. Because they are all dry now. I love it. And I am a huge fan of illustrative style watercolor, like ink and wash. So real quick, I'm going to grab my eraser. I've got a kneadable eraser here. And I'm just going to erase this line that I had. It's not exactly on this line, but that way that won't be part of my art. Sorry. erase this somewhere where it's not going to shake the camera because I don't want to give you guys motion sickness. There we go. All right. So there's the art, but it's not finished. So I have a marker here. It's the Mangaka Flexible. It's Karataki Zig. It's the fine size, and it's a brush pen. So I'm just going to use this to outline my leaves, just to outline them. Again, because I really like illustrative style watercolor, like ink and wash sort of things. So I am just going to add that to my art. Like, I have a deep appreciation for Luisa styles, suggestive styles, and also realistic styles, but I really love illustrative styles. It's one of my artistic preferences. It's just the finish work, you know? It feels to me like it pulls this together a little bit better. And right here, I am going to sign it. There we go, Art by Becky. And Art by Becky. I hope you enjoyed watching this and making along with me if you decided to paint with me or if you decided to make a bracelet with me. And if you are curious about the Coil Buddy, I am going to put a link to her Etsy shop where I got this from. And also, if I can find the video that shows how to use it properly for you, so you can do that. And I'll put a link to Sam's bead box. That's where I got these beads from. I'll put a link to the materials that I'm using, the paper, the pen, and those brushes. I am quite pleased actually with these Artegrity brushes. They finished drying, so I stuck them in the little container that they had right there. Looks like I still have quite a few beads left in Sam's bead box after making that multi-row bracelet. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys have a fantastic time. Bye!